Als nächstes möchten wir unsere brasilianische Partnerhochschule vorstellen, die Universidade Federal de Ouro Preto. Wir haben eine lange bestehende Kooperation. Ähm, Schon seit 2010 findet Studentenaustausch zwischen unseren Hochschulen statt. In Ouro Preto gibt es für Studierende aller technischen Studiengänge Möglichkeiten, ein Praxissemester oder ein Masterprojekt oder auch die Abschlussarbeit durchzuführen. Das findet in der Regel in der Form statt, dass Sie Professor im Labor der Partnerhochschule mitarbeiten und sich dann die Projektarbeit, die durchgeführte Praxisarbeit dann anrechnen lassen können für das Studium in Reutlingen. Die Betreuung findet dann durch den Professor in englischer Sprache statt, also Portugiesischkenntnisse sind keine Voraussetzung. Anders ist das bei Studiensemestern, wenn Sie Vorlesungen besuchen möchten in der UFOP, dann finden diese in der Regel auf Portugiesisch statt. Also Sie brauchen gute bis sehr gute Sprachkenntnisse in Portugiesisch. Englische Vorlesungen gibt es bislang nur vereinzelt. Was den akademischen Kalender betrifft, sind Aufenthalte sowohl im Sommersemester als auch Wintersemester, also von März bis Juli im Sommer, sowie von August bis Dezember im Winter möglich. Unser Kooperationsvertrag bietet sehr vielen Studierenden die Möglichkeit, nach Brasilien zu gehen. Also die Möglichkeit, dort ein Semester ohne Gebühren zu studieren, ist gegeben. Und wenn Sie im kommenden Wintersemester nach Ouro Preto gehen möchten, dann ist die Frist für die Bewerbung der 28.02.2023. Now I would like to hand over to my dear colleague, Anderson Gamaro. He's the Director of International Affairs at UFOP, and he kindly volunteered to give an introduction to UFOP, introduce to you a little bit what student life at UFOP is. And we also have a student who in the past did an internship semester at UFOP, and she will also share her experience with you. Anderson, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Max. Hey, good evening, everyone in Germany. Good afternoon, Hanna. Actually, good afternoon, Hanna, because she's in Brazil right now. She's gonna be able to talk a little bit about her experience with you. So first, I would like to thank Max, to thank everyone from Reutlingen University for inviting us for this presentation. It's a pleasure to be here talking a little bit more about Brazil, about Ouro Preto, about our university, and we hope we hope you can enjoy our presentation, and maybe in the future we can host you here. So I'm going to share my screen. I guess, Max, can you see it? Hope so. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So
We can see.
yes. Perfect. Okay. So as Max said, my name is Anderson. I work here at the International Relations Office at Federal University of Ouro Preto, and today I'm gonna talk a little bit about our institution. Before talking about UFOP, it's important to understand where exactly we are located. Brazil is a large country, as you all may know. We are the fifth biggest country in the world, and we are here in the state of Minas Gerais. Minas Gerais, for you to have an idea, is like as big as France. So you can have an idea about how big Brazil is and about how big our state is. So here in Minas Gerais, it's important to talk about this region. We are the fourth largest state in Brazil. Okay, like as I said before, our territory is a size similar to France. We are the second most populous state in Brazil. We are behind São Paulo when we consider the number of inhabitants. We have more than 850 cities only in our state. And something important to say is that in our state concentrates is 11 out of 69 federal universities from the country. It's important to say that in Brazil, the federal universities are the ones considered like the best ones in the country. We also have the private institutions, but the federal ones, they are public universities, they are considered to be the best one. So in our region, so if you know anything about Brazil, São Paulo state is here, okay, where we have São Paulo state and São Paulo city, one of the biggest cities in the world, and Rio de Janeiro state is right here, where we have Rio de Janeiro city, the most famous city in Brazil, I guess. So here is just for you to have an idea. The city of Ouro Preto is located 1.5 hours away from Belo Horizonte. Belo Horizonte is our capital, so you can easily get to Belo Horizonte or from Belo Horizonte here. There are local buses, and it's quite easy to get around. So going ahead here with the presentation, just talking a little bit about history, it's important to say that UFOP was created in 1969. It's a very young university, as you can see, but our history started much before with the School of Pharmacy, which was founded in 1839, the first pharmacy institution dedicated to the pharmacy studies in Latin America, and also with our School of Mines, founded in 1876, the first one in Brazil dedicated to the studies of mining, and metallurgy. So we have a great history. We are we have these very traditional schools, but of course today we have many other schools, and we are in more cities than Ouro Preto. We have here our principal campus in Ouro Preto. We call campus Morro do Cruzeiro, is the name of the neighborhood where it's located. Most of the activities at UFOP happen here, okay? But we also have two other campuses. One in Mariana, the city where I'm from, is 12 kilometers from Ouro Preto. There, the programs are more concentrated in social studies, in humanities, but so we don't have courses in programs in common with Reutlingen. And we also have a campus in João Molevade. João Molevade is a little bit farther, and they have 3 engineering programs there, so it could be a destination. So here, I'm going to focus the presentation in the city of Ouro Preto, is where our main campus is. Well, Ouro Preto, I don't know if you have any ideas, but Ouro Preto means black gold. Ouro means gold. Preto means black. And talking about the history of the city, it's important to say that Ouro Preto was a mining city. It used to be the capital of our state, and a lot of gold was extracted from our city. A lot of gold. It was one of the richest cities in Brazil during the time we were a colony of Portugal. That's the reason why we speak Portuguese here. So the famous is a very touristic place, a very touristic city. People here in Brazil, a lot of people, Ouro Preto is one of the destinations for people in Brazil. Like everyone, oh, I want to visit the city one day, especially because of our Baroque style. So there are many churches and museums from the 16th, 17th centuries, and it's a very nice city because of this style, and also because of all the cultural life that we have here. I'm going to talk a little bit about it later. If you are into nature, if you like outdoor activities, Ouro Preto is also a nice place to be. We have a lot of mountains, we have a lot of green areas, a lot of parks. So it's possible for you, if you like to go trekking, for example, if you like waterfalls. During the hot seasons, it's very common to see the students going to the waterfalls. Here we have a park. Hanna wanted to visit the Itacolomi Park. I don't know if she had the opportunity. So it's a very for people who like to be outdoors, is also a good place to be. Here I have the list of the programs we have in common with Reutlingen University, in common or like some similar areas. From our 56 undergraduate programs, we have all these programs here offered in our main campus in Ouro Preto. So as you can see, there are some courses very similar, common computer science, industrial chemistry, or industrial engineering, and so on. And we also have some programs in João Molevade, which is a little bit farther, but as you can see, we have there, for example, computer engineering, industrial civil engineering as well, information system. So it's just for you to have an idea about the undergraduate programs we offer here. Concerning the graduate education, UFOP offers 52 different programs. So we offer master's programs, professional master programs. These master programs here are academic, okay, and doctorate programs. So here, as you can see, we have some common programs that you could be here to study, to do some internship, to work in some projects. So we have a lot of programs in common. Well, something important to talk about is about the university facilities. And one of them that I usually start talking about is about our university restaurant. So UFOP has a university restaurant in each of the cities, in Ouro Preto, in Mariana, and in João Molevade. And these restaurants, they offer meals, lunch, and dinner at very affordable prices. As I'm going to show you here the next slide, for example, that's the price, for example, in euros that you would pay for lunch or for dinner at the university restaurant. So that's a great advantage, and food is usually something that people usually spend a lot of money when they are abroad, when they study abroad. Here in Brazil, it would at UFOP, it wouldn't be a big problem, I believe. Okay, so we have the university restaurants. We have more than 200 labs, and these labs are usually shared by students and professors from many different departments. Okay, so that's something really interesting. We have people from different areas working together. And something else to talk about is about the housing system. In Ouro Preto, we have different housing options. We have the traditional ones. We have, like in every single city in Brazil or in Germany, okay? You can rent an apartment to live by yourself. You can share an apartment, for example, with other people, a two-room apartment, and you share with someone else. But we have something very peculiar. Not in Brazil, but specifically in Ouro Preto and in Mariana. That's what we call the repúblicas, or the fraternities and sororities. These are buildings, houses. They are usually large, where students live together. The students are responsible for taking care of everything there. So some of these buildings belong to the university. They are that's what we call the university repúblicas, and we also have repúblicas where students get together to live. It's very traditional for students to live in these houses here, and these houses have a name. So Hanna can talk about the name of her república later. They bring some tradition, people that use it to live in those buildings, in those houses. After some years, they come back just to visit the current visitors. They come to have some barbecues, some parties, some celebrations. So people usually they have a history with that building. So that's something very traditional here from our region. And it's not very traditional here for the students to have a host family. So I don't know if in Germany it's something common. I know that in the United States it's very common, but here that's not a typical kind of housing. So these are just some of the facilities that we offer. We have the libraries, we have a lot of cultural activities on the university. So just talking a little bit quickly here. So for you to have an idea about the costs of living in Ouro Preto, so is it a good option? Will it be affordable? I brought here some prices, some costs that you would have here as an international students. So as I said before, that's the price you would pay to have lunch at the university restaurant, and in the other restaurants that don't belong to the university, that's how the quantity you would pay for a meal. For example, that's the price here per kilo. Okay, so you would not spend all that money for a meal. If you would certainly eat less than that. So to get around the city, so because the historic downtown is a little bit far from the main campus. So if the students prefer to live downtown, they will need to get a bus or a shared taxi to get to the campus. That's how much you would cost, you would have to pay, okay? And here the prices for renting. If you decided to live, for example, in a one-room apartment, that's the price you would pay for 1 month. If you decided to share an apartment, maybe with another person, that's how much you usually pay per month. Or if you live in a república, in a private fraternity, there you would pay around 100 euros for housing, internet, and cleaning services. So it's just to have an idea about how much it would cost. Of course, it's very different from Ouro Preto, from São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, for example, Belo Horizonte, the capital cities, bigger cities. If German students go to those cities, they are going to spend much more, but Ouro Preto, as a smaller place, you would have this advantage of spending less. Okay, something else important about Ouro Preto, Mariana, and also João Molevade is about the culture, the cultural life we have here. I usually tell the students that there is always something happening, a festival, a meeting, a presentation. So Ouro Preto is a very touristic place, as I said before. So there's always a festival happening. We are always sharing with the international students the events that are happening in the university, in the city, some of them promoted by the university, for example, like the Winter Festival that we have here every July, and some others promoted by the city of Ouro Preto, like the Jazz Festival, Film Festival, Wine Festival. So there is always something to do here in our region. So I like very much this cultural aspect of the region where we live. Well, for the students, the German students who want to be at UFOP for a semester or for some months, what are the alternatives you have? Well, you can come here as a mobility student to take courses in English, because I believe the most of our programs are offered in Portuguese language, so it's a challenge for us, not only at UFOP, but in Brazil and in Latin America in general, to have a great offer, of course, in English. But here at UFOP, we are trying to implement more and more courses. Every semester, we ask the departments to send us the list of the courses that will be offered in English. Here we have the list from the last time we checked it. It was before the pandemic, okay? After the pandemic, we haven't checked it with them, but just for you to have an idea. Anderson, but too few courses for me to take. I would need to take at least 5 or 6 courses. What could be done? Well, if there are a group of students, 5, 6 students, for example, from the same program who would like to be here, and you can send us like the list of courses that would be interesting for you to take, and we can think something about more specific, okay? Because we make a general check with the programs. But if we have 5 students from the chemistry program who want to be here, so these are the possible courses. Is it possible to offer them in English? We can for sure work on that. So besides the courses in English, which is a challenge, as I said before, but we are open, we also have internship options for you here. I think it's one of the best opportunities for German students who don't speak any Portuguese. So are the best alternatives for you to be here with us. This semester, next year, actually, we're going to offer a lot of internship positions here in our university. We are still working on this list. Here's just something initial, okay? We are going to share with Max and with the other colleagues from Reutlingen University all the internship positions we have here for next semester. In this presentation here, I have some of these opportunities that if you are interested, you can join us. So you wouldn't need to know Portuguese to take these internships. If you have a good level of English, that would be enough. So here I have some of these alternatives. So from Paulo, Professor Assis, for example, he's a great enthusiast. He's very enthusiastic about having international students. He's a great partner we have. Professor Thales, here's another one more concentrated in the computing and informatics area. Professor Vander Luiz is offering 2 different positions also for the students with a computer science background. Professor André Luiz is another great partner we have here. So for the students who studies engineering or administration or industrial engineering That's a good opportunity. Professor André has received a lot of international students here. It's great to work with him. Professor Allan Kardec has also an opportunity for you here at UFOP. Professor Claudio Gouveia, again in the chemistry area. Professor Guilherme Brigolini, a great partner we have. He has received some students from the Netherlands to take their internship here. So for students that have a background in chemistry or in civil engineering, that's a great alternative. The students like very much to work with him. Professor Sérgio Aquino, he has also received some students from the Netherlands. He has a great project here at the university, so that's another alternative you have. Some of these positions are available for the first semester, some of them are available for the second, and you can stay in a period from 4 to 6 months, 5 to 6, 3 to 6 months. So it's possible for us to adapt this period. So these are internship options you have at UFOP. But it's also important to say that there are a lot of companies around in the cities of Ouro Preto and João Molevade, or in the cities we have in the surroundings. So it's also something common for us to have students taking their internships in the industry, in those companies, for example, but they are registered here as students at UFOP. We enroll them in the internship course, okay? So the student takes the internship at the company, but then he makes a presentation and gets a grade. He's not in Ouro Preto most of the time. He's not in Ouro Preto, but he has a connection with our university. We usually ask the student to come here at least twice, once to get to know the city, to meet the professor. Then the student takes the internship in one of these companies, and later he makes a presentation. So that's another opportunity for students who prefer to have an internship in the industry. We can also share contacts with you as well. So as I said before, Brazil was a colony of Portugal. Our native language is Portuguese. Only a few people speak English in Brazil, unfortunately. Hanna can talk a little bit about it, about her experience being an English speaker here in Brazil. That's why we always offer a Portuguese as a foreign language course to all the students who are international students who are with us here at UFOP. And it's also possible to offer the Portuguese course for the students who intend to come in the future. We know that you have a Portuguese course at Reutlingen University, so you can join that course. But also, if you have an interest, if you want to take more classes, feel free to join our Portuguese course. The classes are for free. You will not have to pay anything for that, and it will be a pleasure to have you. Learning a basic Portuguese is really, really important to be able to communicate with the local community, to go to a supermarket, to go to a restaurant. So learning Portuguese is something important. Of course, you don't need to know it at an intermediate level, but a basic Portuguese is something interesting. Something else that we offer at the university is our cultural calendar. Okay, we have a project here in the international office called Welcome Project, and through this project we have every month a cultural activity. This activity is promoted to integrate the international students with the local students and with the local community. So here, for example, I have the calendar for the second semester. It's in Portuguese, but no problem. In July, for example, we had a tour in Ouro Preto. July is usually the month where the students arrive to have classes in the second semester. Second semester for us is the semester that starts in August. So, for example, we had this tour. We had a cooking workshop in August, for example. We took our students to our nutrition school to prepare typical dishes from our region. It was a really interesting activity. In September, we took our students on a trip to visit Instituto Inhotim. Is a museum, is an open museum, the biggest one. I don't know if it's in Latin America or in the world, but it's a very, very nice trip. I took this trip together with the students, a very beautiful place to go. In October, we had a Brazilian dancing workshop. So there was a workshop to teach some Brazilian rhythm to the international students. In November, last month, we had a Brazilian art workshop. It was online, this one. So it was another opportunity to present Brazilian culture to the students who are here and also to the students who are not, who are taking their virtual internship or who are taking online Portuguese courses. And now in December, we have this big event that is happening this week. Is the biggest academic event in our university. And tomorrow, for example, we have an internationalization seminar that is part of this event. And tomorrow, for example, we're going to have a conversation with international students making presentations about their home countries. So that's another opportunity that we give to the international students to present their countries. Sometimes, like, we know just a little from the country where the students come from. It's a great opportunity for us to know, to get to know you a little bit better. So here, just some photos about some activities we've made. Here's the cooking workshop. Here's the tour in Mariana. Here's the tour in our campus here in Ouro Preto. In this picture here, in the beginning of my presentation, I talked to you about Itacolomi Park, and Itacolomi Peak is a park we have here. So we took the students there. I was there together with them. It was really great, tiring, but great. Here's a tour in our historic downtown. So we always try to integrate the international students with the community. It's a pleasure for us to have all of you here, and we try to make the experience the best as possible. So we also invited our student Hanna to talk a little bit about her experience. I think nothing better than a German student who had an experience in Ouro Preto to talk about how the city really works, how her impressions about the university. Here we have some information about Hanna. She at UFOP, she took a scientific research through this program called IAEST. I don't know if the students know about this program. We receive a lot of German students through this program as well, okay? But you don't need to join the program to take your internship with us because of the cooperation agreement we have. And she took her internship from September to December under the supervision of Professor Augusto Cesar Lobo. So, Hanna, I would like to ask you to talk a little bit about your experience here at UFOP. I hope you are enjoying the experience. I hope you are having a great time. Feel free to talk everything you want about your experience. And once again, thank you, Max. Thank you, all the students, for joining us today or for watching the video later in your channel.
Thank you so much, Anderson. We will save all our questions till the end of the presentation. And now it's your stage, Hanna. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everyone. I guess I share my screen. I brought some slides. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yes, so yeah, I'm Hanna. I study computational engineering science at RWTH. And I just came back from my internship at UFOP, so I came back on Friday. I stayed for 2.5 months, and as Anderson said, I came with the IAEST program. Overall, I can say I had a great and rich and unforgettable experience. And if you have the chance to go to Ouro Preto, I can just encourage you to do so. It's a beautiful place, and it's worth to spend some time there. Yeah, to structure my experience, I would first say something about my internship and the work environment, then something about the university, and then something about life in general. Yeah, so I will share some pictures with you. yeah, my internship. In my internship, I worked with Professor Augusto. He is a quantum physicist and is very interested in the work of Carl Gustav Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, who developed personality topology, and his aim was to model this with quantum mechanics, the mathematics provided from quantum mechanics. And yes, this was the topic, very interesting, but not so interesting for you now at this moment. What I really need to say is that my work was very free, and I had a lot of freedom in my research. I really liked the way we worked together. We discussed a lot. He presented concept, I presented my results, and all the time it was a very appreciative contact, and I felt no imbalance in power. He was very interested in my point of view and my thoughts. I mention this because it's different to my experience from Germany, unfortunately. But yeah, so I'm very happy to have this experience and to see that this worked very well. Yeah, this equal footing approach I could see not just with him, also with the other professors. When I saw how they talk to the students, it's a very respectful social interaction, and yeah, it was nice to experience this. Yes. Then UFOP, the university, I was located in the main campus. Through the time I got support from Anderson from the international office. The communication was great. Thank you again, Anderson, for this. We could manage the organizational part before I came to Brazil. Everything was settled, and but through the whole time he was reachable in shorthand, and helped me. And yeah, I joined some of the trips we did with the working project, and this was a lot of fun. So this is a nice institution. Yeah, something that was very cool for me, as you can see in the picture, the food in the restaurant, which is like the Mensa. I was surprised that they offer lunch and dinner. This was very cool because you don't need to think about what to cook, and yeah, you get rice and beans every day. In the beginning, I thought, when will be the day that I cannot eat it anymore? And now I miss it. I already cooked it here in Germany because it's so tasteful. And yeah, you always get salad, sometimes soups, and meat or vegetarian options. So for nutrition the nutrition is saved. And another great thing was the offer of sports courses. So I thought, when I'm in Brazil now, I really need to try Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I did, and I had a great time with the guys. There was I faced this language barrier, but the people are so open and interested to talk to you that we could communicate with hands and feet. And yeah, so I had a great time, and I really will continue doing jiu-jitsu here in Germany. Yeah, and here on the last picture, you can see the Pico do Itacolomi. The first day I arrived, I saw it, and I said, I really need to go there. And yeah, in I think 3 weeks ago, I climbed up there, and it was very great. I really can encourage you to explore the nature around the city. Yes, and then life in general. Ouro Preto, as I said, is a beautiful town with the historical city center where I lived. I lived in a Republika, so it's basically a sorority, but not that political. And I really would say it's different than the ones I know in Germany. I lived together with 7 girls, and for me it was perfect because I had direct contact to the Brazilian students. I really could get in touch with the true student life, and I always had connection to other people. We were invited a lot. We go together to parties. The people are they very love their culture and are so open and want to explain the things to me, to us. This was a nice experience. So overall, I can say that the people are so warm and welcoming, and I'm so happy if you try to learn a little bit Portuguese. I just did it with Duolingo after I applied in February, and the level was fine or very good to find my way through the city and the university. And yeah, I can, as I said, I will repeat myself. I can just highly recommend to go to Ouro Preto and live the life there. Yes, and I'm open to questions if you have any. Feel free.
Thank you so much for your insight into this study abroad experience. It was really interesting. At least I feel like going immediately from very cold Germany to Brazil. Maybe
Max,
students in the audience.
You asked about, I see your question right now about how people get around bike.
Yes.
Is it possible, Hanna, to ride a bike in Ouro Preto?
Yeah. So I live in Aachen. Aachen has also a lot of hills, and people do this. But in Ouro Preto, I saw nobody on a bike. So the standard way to go around is taking the bus or this taxi lotação, which is a taxi that goes the same route as the bus, and you pay the same price as the bus. And the drivers. So I had more than one nice chat with the drivers. They were interested where you're from, and I had a lot of very nice interaction with foreigners, and yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a few more questions. I think I will just ask a little bit more. Maybe students or Iris, my colleague, will join in. So is there a tutoring program, a buddy program, where local students take care of international students? Do you have something?
Well, we have this project that we call Welcome Project. We have 2 members of this program that they are students who are always in contact with all the international students. So what happens? We don't have like one student, UFOP student, to take care of another one. Not exactly a buddy, but a group, these 2 students that work together with all of them. Something very interesting to talk about is because of the repúblicas, the fraternities and sororities we have here. The students usually live together with other students. So like they have people to show like almost everything to them. So it's not necessary. They usually have like buddies that are not indicated by the university, but that live together in these fraternities and sororities. So that's why we only have 2 members. We have already thought about having like one specific to take care of that, but we have 2 great people that work in the Welcome Project that makes our work really easier, and they are always in contact with them.
Yes, if I can add something, as I said, I lived in the Republika, and so there I shared my room with 2 other girls, and both were very interested in me and very interested in showing me their country. Both invited me to their families, and I visited them, and yeah, they told me a lot of Brazilian culture, and they helped me with problems if I needed to buy something, or how to do something, or helped me with the bank. So I always got the support I needed. And I think this is nice to find the people where the vibe is good than to be matched with someone, because yeah, the people are welcoming and very grateful to help.
What I'm also interested in, and maybe also for students of relevance, what was your safety perception? Did you feel safe in Ouro Preto?
Yes. Yeah. In the first place, because we know Brazil as a dangerous country, but yeah, when I came there, I figured out that this is like the safest place you can be in Brazil. There are a lot of students, and yeah, I think not many poor people, and yeah, it was very safe. I feel safe walking alone through the city. Yeah, it's different. You cannot stay in a park and in the evening and don't care. So I always was paid attention to other people walking around, and this I think this is important. But yeah, I felt very safe, and yeah, a lot of times I worked after 10 p.m. So I started late, but then I walked home. So like 1.6 kilometers down the hill through the city, and yeah, never I had no dangerous experience.
Yes, it's important to say that like in bigger cities like Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, Belo Horizonte, we have a lot. They can be very dangerous places, but that's one of the advantages of being in smaller places like in Ouro Preto or in Mariana, because we have a lot of students, and I would consider to be much if you are really concerned about safety, which is something especially girls they are usually more worried about. Being in smaller places is usually a better choice, I would say.
Thanks. Are there some more questions from someone in the audience? Maybe Iris?
Yes, I would like to ask something. I'm the student coordinator at the Faculty of Informatics at Reutlingen University. So I would like to know how big was the group in for which you did the internship, Hanna? How many people have you been in your internship? Was it just you, or did you was it a group of several students in one internship, during one internship?
Okay, at my internship, I was the only student working with my professor.
Okay.
He works his research. He wants to publish a paper, and we work together on this topic.
Okay. So I understand that there's always one student for one internship, right?
It depends. It depends on the project. It depends on the professor. So some professors, like Professor Augusto, he works more individually, like Hanna said. I think because of the area of studies.
Okay.
But most of the other students, as far as I know, work in groups. Especially like normally the interns we receive here, they work under the supervision of the professor, but also from the PhD students. So the master students or the undergraduate students, they usually have a PhD student that's part of the lab, part of the group that work together, advising the students as well as the professor. So it depends. It depends on the area.
Okay, thank you. That's fine. Okay. Okay. And one more question to Hanna. How was it recognized at your home university, this internship? Was it recognized at all, or did you had are you a graduate student and it is regarded as recognized at how do you say an optical or elective, or was it just
so I organized it as a free internship.
Oh, I lost you.
Sorry. So the organization was as a free internship. So actually, I just came with the student status. Yeah, but so I'm in the progress to get some credits for this. But yeah, this is not how I came to Ouro Preto.
Normally these internships under the EIS program are very short. So students stay here for 1 month, 1.5 months, 2 months. So maximum 3 months. Okay, so like the students usually don't, maybe sometimes they don't, they can't fit the minimum workload they must have. So, but from these opportunities we are sharing right now, the students can be like from 3 to 6 months. So that would be enough for getting a grade. So at EIS it works a little bit different, I would say.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to have an idea because we have several possibilities to recognize or not to recognize if the students just is fond of going abroad and do some internship and just spend their time there. There are several options to just to attend these internships. I just wanted to have an idea. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if I can add something, I heard from other EIS students that their professors from their home universities, I cannot say which, but some professors said that they can give 1 credit per 30 hours worked.
Okay.
And we usually sign a lot of internship agreements from EIS students. So depending on the country where this student comes from, they have a project and we have to sign. So that's something that usually helps with the recognition of the internship at the home university.
Okay. Yes, I think I'm quite sure we figured out. Okay, thank you.